When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
With the finale of Game of Thrones right around the corner, and a lot of death and destruction all but promised, the question on everyone's mind is who will survive the Game of Thrones. Today we're going to be discussing that, and I'll break down my theory.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me.
Welcome to the channel. Here we break down and review everything Game of Thrones. So if you're a huge Game of Thrones fan, go check out my channel. And if you like it, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to be notified anytime I drop future content. Alright guys, let's jump right into it. Now, I'm only covering 5 characters, and these are just the ones that I'm the most confident about surviving, in no particular order. If you would like me to make another video about who else I think will survive, just let me know in the comment section below. First up, we have Brienne of Tarth. Now, this one is kind of a mixed bag just because I feel like they could have did so much more with this character. She was just starting to get some character, and then they stuck her in the Watchtower for a whole season, and it kind of diminished everything that they were trying to build with her. But it just doesn't make sense that she were to die. I mean, I see her as more of the next generation of Westeros, so it just makes sense that she survives. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure Jaime's going to die in the first couple episodes, in my opinion. But if that were to happen, then the Tormund and Brienne relationship makes even more sense. Although I think this is just a show thing because the book, Tormund is way older. It doesn't really make much sense in the book. But I can see them doing this as a way to just kind of see something that happened. You guys can't just cry all the time. I mean, there are positives. Next up, we have Gendry. Now, again, like with Brienne, I believe Gendry is the next generation for Westeros. Not only is he the last Baratheon, but I also think he will get with a Stark and join families like his father Robert tried to do way back in Season 1.
If your sister had lived, would have been bound by blood. Well, it's not too late. I have a son, you have a daughter. We'll join our forces.
So I'm pretty sure this would make him safe. Plus, if they were going to kill him off, I mean, why even bring him back on the show? A lot of people even forgot he was on the show, so it just doesn't make sense. I think they have big things planned for him. Heck, he might even be the ruler of Westeros when all this is said and done. Sam and Gilly. Now this one out of all of them is the biggest no-brainer to me. I think there's zero possibility that they kill off Sam. I think he is actually the one reading us the story at the end of the book, or at the end of the show, and he's just reading what he wrote, A Song of Ice and Fire. It's just my personal opinion. I think they dropped a huge clue at this last season. I think it was last season, where he's at the Citadel and he's talking to the Maester about naming the story something more poetic. And I mean, it fits perfectly. So that being said, I think he is safe off bat. I do think Gilly is safe along with him, although there is a slight possibility. I could see Gilly dying. I could see Gilly dying protecting, her child. But I think that's just really... I think Sam's went through enough. And I'm personally interested to see how Sam reacts to Daenerys and Jon when he finds out that's the chick who burnt his family, even if he wasn't the closest. Because he was pretty close to he wasn't as close, but he was pretty close to his brother. Like, it wasn't like as close as he was to his mother, but it wasn't as bad as his father. So everybody's like, well, he didn't like his father. Yeah, but, I mean, his brother was right there next to him, got roasted right along with him. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to see how they react to each other. But yeah, I think both Gilly and Sam are safe. Next up, we have Tyrion Lannister. Now, I really believe that Tyrion's going to survive. There is a slight chance. I mean, anything's possible. But it just wouldn't make sense. The only way I see him dying is if it's by a white, or maybe his sister. Other than that, no one else has probable cause to kill Tyrion. It just doesn't make any sense. If the story goes as most people believe it is, with Jaime and Cersei dying by the end of this series, that would leave him as the last direct descendant of House Lannister. And there's just too much power when it comes to that. There would be no reason why anyone would want to kill him, even if it was just keeping him hostage. It just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully that does not happen. I really don't want to see Tyrion die. I really think what's more likely to happen is that Tyrion marries Sansa and they combine the houses together and they rule over Westeros. Not necessarily the ideal ending because I'm not the biggest fan of Sansa, but I can live with it as long as Tyrion's ruling.
You may survive us yet.
Finally, last but not least, is Arya. Now, the reason that I put her all the way at the end of my video is because she's the one that I'm the least confident about. It could go either way, to be honest with you. There are a lot of things that kind of make me want to lean toward Arya surviving, such as the fact that in the original script that George R.R. Martin wrote back in 1993, that was one of the surviving characters. However, we can't base it solely off this because in that copy, there was a love triangle between Jon Snow and Arya. So things changed a little bit. Another clue that kind of leans me thinking she's not going to die is because he's joked in the past about Arya being his wife's favorite character. And if he were ever to kill Arya off, he was going to have to pay majorly. Again, I really don't think that he has any plans on killing Arya off, and unless they go completely opposite of the books, which I don't think they're going to do for the ending. I'm pretty certain if you go by that, Arya's safe. However, you can also flip the script. I mean, George R.R. Martin is known for subliminal messaging, and a lot of the times he does it in the first sentence or paragraph that you read about a character. In Arya's the first couple of things that you hear about Arya is that they're going to have to pry the needle, which at the time they were talking about the sewing needle, but we all know her sword is called Needle, out of her cold, dead hands. Now, that could easily be talking about finding her body after the battle with the Night King at Winterfell and having to pull the needle from her cold, dead hands.
Sansa can keep her sewing needles. I've got a needle of my own.
Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know who you think is going to survive the Game of Thrones in the comments section below. Again, if you liked and enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. See you guys next time.